I'll keep an eye on everybody coming in still. So let's all take a deep breath. And just tune into this moment here where we're joined together. People are still coming in, so making sure everybody gets invited. I think everybody is muted, which is creating a nice stillness on my side to have this message come through today. We're going to go into a deep journey where I'll be sharing some imagery that, as a graphic designer, is one of the beautiful skills, have been creating a storyboard of sorts. You know, the kind of story that you wish Hollywood would put together, of ascension, of a human going through the awakening process here on earth during our lifetime, and going through the motions of awakening our mind and our body and our consciousness, absorbing all of the beautiful material out there that we all went through, the esoteric material, the mysticism, the new age, the no age knowledge that we've all downloaded in our time. So I know everyone here is called to take that beautiful transformation to a new level. Still admitting people, which is wonderful. All right, letting them tune in. I'm the only moderator today, so I'm the one making sure everybody's connected, muted, and online. All right, so here we go. I'm going to do a screen share, and we're going to go back and forth between imagery and a little bit of personal interaction here. Unfortunately, there's too many people to open it up for questions. So I do ask you once again to please put them in the messages, and I will definitely be looking at them, and I will reply to those through email because it'll be too unmanageable without my assistance today. All right. So we're going to go into screen share. And I've never, I don't remember if I can admit people during screen share, but we'll find out. Here we go. Today, I'm going to describe a process of how to build a light ship on Earth here, right now. As many of us have gone through in our awakening, the integration of all of the knowledge and the resurgence of everything that's already in our DNA, we're going to go into the core of that right now and bump those frequencies up. Create a larger envelope, a larger container. So this biosphere, this biofractal of life that we are, is going to be amplified enormously today with each other's energy, because we are also telepathically joining, entangling in a quantum way that is across time and space. All right. So I'm going to turn this off for a second just to do the one last check that everybody's joined, and it looks like we're good. All right, let's go back to that. Here is our current focus point. And I ask one more time, anybody who's not muted to go ahead and mute themselves. I hear a little bit of echo somewhere. And surrounding us is fractal space. fractal dimensions, not just stars, not just empty space, but a realm of possibilities that is inside of us in the innerverse too. Let's zoom out a little bit from the envelope around the earth, around our bodies. Think of this as an iris, a phobia, a focal point of the soul. And as we zoom out further, we can see that space is not just a traversal of going from point A to point B. It is actually a zoomed out I, a larger I am of energy, an energetic realm of plasma and gravity and magnetism, a burst of electricity in an electric mind, a mycelial network that connects all stars, all galaxies. As we go further out, we're actually going inwards to the innerverse, what is inside of us in this journey. We're traversing the path of the soul. Right now, right this moment, I invite us to connect. And this is an open eye, lucid visualization, like a meditation without having to close your eyes. We are dreaming awake right now as we zoom out to the size of the molecule. One photon of our soul is the size of one universe. The sacredness of this geometric imprint to remind us, what was it like when our soul, that being, that presence that we are, was ignited? Maybe you want to use the word created. What was that like? How old are you in this space and time? How large are you? If we were to see our soul, our true being right now, with this body, with these eyes, with this collection of eyes that we are, the size of the visual imprint is the eyes of all of the cells in our body, the photoreceptor capability of each cell in our blood and our marrow right now, looking through inner space, through our muscles, through our brain that we are. The mind has a collection of consciousness. And beyond that is the version of us that created this universe in the omniverse. This scale mapping that we just traversed in such a short time is the kind of movement that our mind is going to be able to do from now on effortlessly. The scale of the universe is no longer a variable for us. Got to admit someone here. So what if at this level we had access to the control panel, the central unit, if you want to see it that way, of our light ship, where we are modulating our brain states. We are programming our DNA. We are creating new frequencies through this body and all the bodies that we've ever been. This is the first stage in uniting everything that we are, every planet we've incarnated in. And we're going to do a scan of all of the bodies that we're entangled with right now. All of not only the physical human bodies, but the inside innerverse of each of those bodies, the set of organs, muscles, bones, tissue, Everything that has been manifested in the physical world, we're going to scan right now, like when those healers do these beautiful scans of Reiki and other modalities, to first identify all of the experience that we've traversed, the journeys that we have been metamorphosed into these humans with these thoughts. Let's just scan all of those right now and heal all of that trauma. Translate all of the stories that have been imprinted in all of those bodies at the cellular level. So when we have cellular mitosis, when cells divide, not just in this lifetime, but in all of our children's, all of our ancestors, all of us are going to unite in the next cell division as one voice, because this is where we have a choice to create a copy of what was. The default for our body is to just continue replicating the same templates, and let's make the next cell division be the birth of an ascension cell that we are going to right now program as master physicists, master geneticists, tied into the source, soul sourcing the next message for this cell division. Let's take this message I just shared, just breathe it in for a moment, because this is a platform we're going to be playing with. We're speaking to our chromosomes right now. Those beautiful constructs, they are holographic fractal instruction sets of the Akashic remembrance and the future version of us connected right now. What are we right this moment? What I've just described, what do we look like enveloped in the fields of intention from our soul? The direct vision that our soul version of us had, the sacred geometric fields of all of the toruses, toroid, vortices that modulate matter within us and without us throughout our presence in this universe. That's who we are speaking to and about right now. This is in our cells, in our DNA. It is also in the envelope of all universes, the same thing. We are a crystal footprint, a crop circle in human form that arrived on Earth in a journey that is still going on right now. Let's tune into that. Let's give honor to the beings that showed us how to crystallize and fractalize reality. Beings such as Ascended Master Dr. Emoto, who showed us how to imprint the water in our bodies. And let's zoom into that crystal message that is a fractal. You can say it's a computing file that is infinite and eternal. And let's break it down to its basic components. In this case, I'm just showing it as a triangle, a Sierpinski triangle of dimension, where we are not only a volume, a form here on Earth, but we are also the energy and the thought. Step by step, we are going to take away matter and leave behind structure and thought intention, fractalized, as a three-dimensional, multidimensional presence in our cells. When we say, let us imprint our cells or cleanse on cells, cleanse the trauma, the matrix invasion, all of those things, and bring the next thing that we're going to do on Earth from the rest of our lives from this point of view, because you can look at this crystallization process at the molecular level. It is infinite and iterative, embedded, nested implosions. This is the geometry of one of those triangles embedded in one of the crystal instruction sets in a cell. Looking through, you can see that it's multidimensional forever. Those humans working at the Large Particle Accelerator, CERN, who are looking for the God particle, unfortunately, are going to be disappointed that it is an infinite process. You're going to look at more exotic particles and you're going to go deeper and it's going to get more exotic, but it'll continue. Doesn't matter how big a machine you build. We are going to jump and leapfrog that process and go right to it because that's one of our superpowers. And we are going to birth intentions from our pineal portal outwardly to land on this sun as the first stopping point for a complete thought. What I'm sharing here now is that we have the ability to source soul imprinted thoughts of the original concept of what we came here to do and fractalize, crystallize the space around us so that it becomes coherent with clarity. We'll be able to see a broader bandwidth with this new brain that encompasses the brain of all of our ancestors, that encompasses the mind of all of our star families on every source of creation that we can tune into right now. That's a pretty wide connection. And within this thought, this intention of healing this planet, liberating and bringing ascension thinking, ascension cells into play, we can crystallize a thought so that it is multidimensional, and within it is the refraction patterns of the light of our soul. And this can be viewed from different angles. We are also a cube, a pyramid, all of the Platonic solids. Our intentions now can be shaped in very exotic ways so that the light refracts through them, through our thoughts. And we can shapeshift geometries. We can shapeshift as these kinds of humans, these kinds of beings, and we can build entire lattices of thought right now. This immediately heals all of the compartmentalization and the separation and the duality that was instilled in us from our scientific system, our school system, our religions, our parents, all of the first level conditioning that we receive right now. We've just blown that apart. We're looking right now at a creation that I call the healing codex. Let's take a breath and receive what this is about. This is a stargate that I'm showing as a beautiful geometric pattern with all the words in it that are the layers, the new kitchen that we're going to get to play with as alchemists. And I've sent an email to everyone who got to see this image, the healing codex, as one molecule, as a new physics, a new science of consciousness. What I'm sharing here is that this is the work that has flowed through me, and each one of you has such a magnitude of work flowing through you right now. I see you. I acknowledge you. Welcome, my friends, Star Family. I see each one of you. I feel the gift, the presence of each of you. Each of you has built your own healing codex. You are each the Messiah in your creation. I see you, Neo, in the Matrix. What I've done is translated the healing codex into an actual shape that I call the Vossahedron, a new geometry that could be built as a dome structure that one can go inside of and practice and amplify our consciousness as a new kind of instrument for consciousness. So we're going to be prototyping these in full size. One seed fractal from soul sourcing intention as a biogeometry to bring in the future. Each one of you has this level of project right now at your fingertips. So let us acknowledge that source of seed projects of light. Doesn't matter what it is. It may just be your presence. It may be your intention of working with children, building healing centers, producing and scripting the entire new civilization that will span eons after we are gone. Because we have the language, the vocabulary of light to describe technology where we can create new geometries, new sacred forms that integrate spectral knowledge of light. We can communicate with magnetism. We can have communion with gravity and crystals and plasma right now. And these technologies that each of us is bringing in are right now already giving inspiration to a whole new generation, because this is an image of one brain cell ascending. Imagine the trillions of brain cells in the trillions of mycelial neural networks that we have access to now. Take a breath right now and let's just receive this for a second. If anybody would like these images, I can create a PDF and I'm just going to go ahead and create it and email it to everyone. This is the script. This is one of the things that came out of going deep into this body, healing everything, declared myself healed, and initiated a sequence of ascension, initiated the process of regenerating everything that I am. And when I say I mean we. When I say I mean we, all of those who've made this choice to surround ourselves with our most beautiful intentions, to activate ourselves and heal those around us who are open to that blossoming with the best, the brightest, the highest, most robust intentions of love and compassion for every single thing we do for the rest of our lives. Every thought, intention that's coming out of us, every emotion that we pulse out of these bodies are sourced from these crystalline, beautifully connected, heart activated jewels. At the same time, we can modulate and wield the alchemy of all of the knowledge, all of the teachings right now. We integrate that. I hope that feels fun for us. So that from this moment forward, we have the complete liquid mind and freedom to create new geometries, new shapes, new intentions, new tools. In this image, it is a crystalline cubical grid of 49 intentions imprinted in layered colors that we can say, well, today I'm going to do a beautiful work. I'm going to create this field around me, and it's going to be very specific. If you can spend a minute, 12 minutes, an hour in your visualization and detail it, it'll crystallize and it'll start refracting light. And that means the crystals in our pineal, when we take scanning electron micrographs, pictures in our pineal, where we talk about that. Are we crystallizing our pineal? I hope so, because I'm going to crystallize rhomboids, tetrahedrons, octahedrons, dodecahedrons. I know about all these beautiful crystals that are going to refract light and show me DMT-like visions that I can go into, that matter itself is paying attention to right now. And I can hyperdimensionalize any of my thoughts from now on, any of my intentions. I'm sharing with you some of the vocabulary I use with myself so that I can create tesseracts, hypercubes, hyperstructures of my sacred geometry. And I can go into them, if it helps to visualize, like the movie Interstellar, where out of free will and love, the main character created a hypercube tesseract structure that he can go into and modulate time and visit a time where he wanted to heal something that seemed impossible. And we can build these things right now here on Earth, in the new cities of peace, in the new cities of light, in the new structures. It doesn't matter if we ourselves are doing it, because by having this conversation today, we're inviting others to navigate their own hyperdimensionality without fear, without limitation, an unbounded human. This is the opportunity. We are feeling the reality of it right now. So I'm going to take another breath, just receive this next download. A super immune system, an immune system that is so efficient that we can, out of our own will directive, invert the polarity in our cells so we are charged in a way, a negative charge in our cells that releases all viruses, all bacteria, all parasites that are not in concert, in coherence with our soul's intention. A superconductive immune system, a super regenerative process for all of the organs in our body. We have the capability to regenerate our kidneys, our liver, our digestive system. Go in and do that work as a blessing for yourselves and others of what is possible. Grow new limbs, grow teeth, shed off this body, grow a new body. Whether we do it in this lifetime or not, it's irrelevant. We are quantum beings now. Visualize every single cell in your body transforming, going through a metamorphosis from a old school first generation cell into a stem cell, and then show that stem cell what an ascension version of itself looks like. Project on all of your cells with love and talk to your body and say, you have 90 days to do this work. You have 3 months or 1 month or 6 years. You put your time limits on it. Connect to the telomeric markers in our chromosomes and show them how to flow freely. It's not about elongating the telomeres. It is about opening up the opportunity for all of our chemistry, our biology, to do what it wants to do. It wants to dance and fly. Within all of these beautiful structures is increased surface area. You notice organic nature is fractal. It has lots of dendrites, feelers that go out and collect energy. They connect fractally. Trees branch out fractally. What is that about? It's a living crystallization process that is a soul language that we can express. These are sacred spaces I'm showing. Take a deep breath. Here we go. Next level. The vocabulary of DNA. We are going to ascend. Ascension means one version of ascension. The concept of it, the indication of it, is that we are bumping up the knowledge, the frequency, the light gathering capability. So DNA, like any other creation can become another vision within our soul mind. I call it mantle. The master ancestor, novus template, light electric. What are we becoming? Where are we going with all of this vocabulary and language and so forth? To become the master ancestor means that we acknowledge that we can communicate with the future in infinite direction, not just as a line, but as a sphere and as any other geometry you want to visualize quantumly, multidimensionally, so that others can be born, initiated, illuminated from the source seed of our master ancestry. Boy, that was a big one, huh? I'd like to see that sentence. And then this also means we are the new template, the Novus instruction set that is a star map. We can put out that star map out there for other versions of us to reach toward it and navigate toward it in some kind of light ship. Light electric means that we become, or say we transfigure ourselves, we shapeshift into the electricity of this universe, to the electric, biophotonic, and any fancy words one can use to describe the source of the building blocks of reality in all its dimensions. That new DNA is not only physical, chemical, energetic, mental, emotional, all of the layers that you can come up with. That's what we are working with right now. We're no longer working with just DNA. And I'm not saying just DNA to diminish this beautiful sacredness. We have new eyes to see larger possibility. Let's get reminded for a moment right now that when we were born in the cosmic womb, it was an eternal, infinite moment that's always happening, that doesn't fit in any logic and any coconut in here. Your brain's trying to say, what do you mean you were created and born and you were infinite and eternal? And you say, yes, you got it now. And as a matter of fact, that amniotic fluid, energetic Eden that we came from, the Eden garden we came from, at one level is about the elements: water, plasma, gravity, light. Our fetus, our soul fetus, had the alchemical power wielding these elements as we assembled our bodies. We observed the molecular construction of everything. This mantle DNA at the source of all of this is still with us today. And the geometries that we use, we invoke as these coherence filters. What that means is that a geometry, a shape, is the light language to describe the filtering of light and refracting it so it becomes truth, clear, coherent, with clarity. And these elements, the crystal elements, the water elements, the star stuff, the magnetic fields, follow the paths, the neural connections of our intentions. And now, right this moment, we can rebirth again with this. We can no longer contain ourselves. We can no longer limit, separate, distance, distort that coherent beam of love that we are. Grant access to everything that you are right now. Give it full, unbounded responsibility, the ability to relate itself as energy in freedom. When you hear about free energy, you say, I am energy in freedom. That's when you have cellular regeneration. That's when you have electricity for life. That's when food around you restructures its DNA, because your presence, we are that component in this reality. And that freedom and that peace comes from knowing with full trust that we have that access all the time. And if you were to look through the beam of one thought from this child that we are, the innerversal thought, you would see these vortices and this implosion and these continual creation of matter organizing itself and traveling through itself. Wormholes within wormholes, black holes within black holes, thoughts within thoughts, embeddedness. Good. This is where I like to play. I'm a psychonaut. I like psychedelics, not only in medicine, but also in energy and in thoughts. And at the very core of these intentions that we have are already the unlimited refraction patterns, the crystal lattices, the divinity that is intact, undisturbed, ready to create more. If you can see this image, and I know some of you are watching on your cell phones, but go back and see this again as if you're looking at a science fiction story. What we call the pineal gland, what we call that beautiful shape, that eye, are the light ships that are docked in wormholes and black holes across all creation, sitting in potentiality, ready to vortice new creations, ready to travel and be launched and be inspired to navigate more. What they don't show in the black hole imagery is the inspiration, the exhalation of an intention of creation to traverse from one dimension to another. We can birth black holes from this body, boom, with an idea, and teleport ourselves through that vision. The more detailed our visions are, the more we telepresence ourselves and entangle from one moment to the next, from one version of ourselves through a black hole to another version of ourselves. If we want to learn how to teleport, if we'd like to really tap into telekinesis, teleempathic communication, we can seamlessly acknowledge that we're already doing it. We all know this language, but what does that look like now? Right now, right here in this body, in this earth, in this cucaracha mess, is what I call it. Well, first, let's remind ourselves with a complete thought that our pineal is the light ship traveling with this body, the mechanisms. And I'm not just talking about the one inside here. I'm talking about the one that's around our bodies and around this planet, and the containment of the complete thought of our soul that is continually being refracted as that pond ripple, gravity waves. And that is inside us right now, going through so many beautiful changes as we speak right now. Each one of us that's tuned into this call. And I'm feeling, I'm feeling a little thumping right here and back here, boom, 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 as we already know right now, we've collectively, telepathically, have just ascended one more tick by what we're sharing. Because it's not just me talking, it's not just me sharing beautiful postcards from our quantum biofuture. I'm also tapping into each one of you, receiving the love, that you're sharing with each other. How cool that we're on this journey. How beautiful that we have this language, right? This is more interesting to me than anything I can find in any media out there. Yeah, step beyond all those beautiful books we've all read, all those beautiful channelings we've all received. Right now, we're creating in a new way. Right now, we are the interference pattern of crystals, birthing the new civilization here on Earth, birthing ourselves in a reincarnated form, walking into our own bodies. Because there's a generation right now of young people of all ages ready, willing and able, activated. There's nothing more beautiful than the activated human. There's nothing more fulfilling to my heart, more peace establishing than to know that each one of you right here is my family. I will never be alone. And we're creating one hell, one heaven, one Eden of a refraction pattern right now. It's being felt because the darkness, as I mentioned in the Washela call, is reaching right now, and it's getting itself exposed to this light. It's gone as pretty much as far as it's going to be able to go in this incarnation, because right this moment I'm already seeding the geometries, the intentions, the love explosion, if you want to call it, the acceleration of peace and harmony and clarity and kindness, so that my mother and my father are reborn in that kindness, that my ancestors are reconnected to that intention of them traveling the future that we are in right now. All right. I hope that was fun. It's a little glimmer of a crystal I wanted to share today. What does this look like at a larger galactic scale? This energetic Eden that is birthed already with our presence here, not an ego of we're the baddest or the brightest, but it just as an acknowledgement, a very kind hug of light to each other for holding what we're holding, for frequentiating the metamorphosis of all. So what I would like to leave you, we're going to close this. I'm going to go off a screen share in a moment. If you're inspired to contribute to this work, I'm prototyping the Vocahedron. This includes looking for land, teams, people, just to build one, and then show others how to do it. And I'm going to email for those who are called that would like to have a personal session. You have a project you want to accelerate, you have a healing transformation that you want to step into regenerative mode, or whatever else you're called to share with me. You want to do it in a personal call. I'll give you a link in an email so you can schedule a call with me. I'm open and accessible and available. I'm dedicated, and I dedicate this conversation to those innovators and visionaries that we've all been, those young inner childs that we all are, that baby that wants to be born in functionality and coherence. I dedicate this to that aspect of ourselves. So here we are. Let's stop the share. If everybody wants to unmute, just clap or say something or go for it. Here we are.
Thank you so much. This was so awesome. I love it. Yeah, thank you.
Ninke, thank you. You can do it all at once too. It's okay.
Thank you.
There's no order.
Immensely.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you to all my brothers and sisters for being here and doing this work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Luna. Thank you all.
Daisha, thank you. I wanted to share that yesterday when we were sitting on the beach watching the sunset of the Pacific Ocean, I did a little fun conscious experiment. What if I stood up and just started clapping like a standing ovation to the sun? How many friends, because it was all along the beach, there were people watching. And so I told my partner, hey, Akuda, you want to do it? Let's all start clapping. And then just a few did it, but it was fun. It was like little kids. So that's what I'm doing right now, clapping to all of us, a standing ovation from my heart. All of the imagery shared today, each image is a hologram activator. I'm sure you felt it. And each word, each sentence that I said is a whole package of a payload of light that we can unpack. So those who would like, I'm very open, share this. I'm going to be uploading it and giving you a link. You're welcome to share it with others. It is that gift. We're coming from abundance now. Our vaults, as I mentioned before, are full of light ideas. We can go in there and pull out from everything that we've done in our life. Here's a solution. Here's some light. Here's direction. Here's abundance for you, for everybody in our lives. That's where we're coming from right now, as living suns within this planet, as living stars. I love each one of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Enjoy your beautiful new creations. I can't wait to hear about them.
Looking forward to talk further.
All right, we'll stop